Okay, so I'm back to talk about another episode of the classic DuckTales series. Sorry I missed the video for February. It, kind of got away from me. I know February is the shortest month of the year anyway, but this one seemed really fucking fast. So, I decided to make up for it by doing a video the first weekend of March. I don't know if I'll do two, but at least I want to do one. So, watch the second episode on my set here, and this one is Sphinx for the Memories, which is another one where at first I didn't remember it, but then the scene happened oh yeah, I do remember this. It's again, I don't know where it falls in the timeline, but this is one of the few episodes that actually has Donald Duck in it, and I thought it was funny. It started out with him on his the aircraft carrier he's assigned to, and his admiral is making sure he did everything so he can go to shore leave, and the Admiral is played by Peter Optimus Prime Cullen. I don't think I remember that when I was younger, but it's funny to see it now that I know who he is and can identify voices. And speaking of voices, I wasn't sure, I had to look like, but the voice of Donald Duck in the original series is the same guy who's voicing Donald Duck in the 2017 series. So that's really cool. I think they might have done something different to his voice for the mod to get that quacking sound, because it sounds a little different, but maybe that's just the improvements of recording technology. So this episode's a kind of a low-key one. It's if I had to give an expression, it's kind of meh. It wasn't bad, but the plot is that Donald's on shore leave and they're in Egypt, so he says Scrooge and the nephews meet him there. And while he's there, he's sightseeing. He he goes into a shop to try on a fez first, because fezzes are cool. I should have worn my fez. Damn it. And then he tried on one of the, Egyptian king pharaoh headdresses. I don't know if there's an actual word for that. And then there are two guys there who happen to be part of an ancient society. It's him, the garbled one. He is our king. And so they basically just kidnap Donald. He even says, he get a tour of a palace, and he's trying to get the attention of Scrooge and the nephews who saw them there. He's you'll have to kidnap me. So they're okay! And they stuff him into a barrel and take him away. And so Scrooge and the nephews have to go rescue Donald. And to do that, they have to get a guide and camels and stuff, and there's a guide who is going to charge half price, who I think is also Peter Optimus Prime Cullen. And Scrooge's half price? You don't even want to haggle? It's no, we're having a sale, Effendi. Is that an offensive term? Because it's in Egypt, and it's the 80s, so I don't know, but a lot of people said Effendi a lot. I'm I don't know, is that a stereotype? I mean, it's a stereotype, but is it really bad? Should I not be saying it? I don't know anymore. But they take Donald to, Garbleton, not Garbleton, I can't remember the name of it now, I just watched the episode. But they're hidden village. And they, say, hey, you're gonna be our king. And first he doesn't want that, and then he has a harem, and he's okay! I can't blame him. But, yeah, so and then there's, this guy who's been in charge until the garbled one returns. And he's and they find Donald. He says he has his voice, so he's garbled. It's he's our leader. And the guy's no, I don't want him to be the leader. I still want to be the leader. So he unleashes his fucking mummy he has to kill Donald. Blah, okay. It should be more exciting, but somehow, this episode is just, I said, it was just, stuff happens. It's very low-key. I remember the show having more action sequences, but maybe it's because I was just young. I think, again, I don't want to compare the old series to the new series as much, but the one thing I've noticed in, especially even in the theme song, is, there is more, phonetic action going on, even in slow bits of the new series, while this one is very, subdued. But that might be limitations of the animation at the time. So, but, so, Donald survives the attack. He, the mummy destroys the statue when he sees, the nightcap Donald was wearing, so he thought he killed him. Donald's it was just a dream, and then just goes right back to bed. And then Scrooge and the boys have to make their way out of a a trap, because, surprise, surprise, the half-price guide was evil! Because he also belonged to the cult. I'm just saying cult. And, it's one of those things where they use the Junior Wookchip guide a lot. Like, it can apparently just be able to decipher hieroglyphics immediately. I don't know how much this is going to come up. I do remember it came up a couple times, and they do use that in the new series, but I was like, oh yeah, this is the MacGuffin, isn't it? This is their sonic screwdriver. It can do whatever the plot demands. So they make their way through a maze. They get to the village in time to see Donald be possessed by the spirit of the Garbled One, who of course looks just like Donald, and the main difference is he grows that weird striped goatee, which I don't think anyone ever actually had. I don't know. I'm not a historian. I don't study ancient Egypt, other than the fact that I know they're evil! So, yeah, the Garbled One takes over, and, like, hey, Scrooge and they're like, oh, Donald's their leader. We'll be fine. They are tied to the stakes to roast in the sun and have the vultures eat their flesh, which is explicitly said in the episode. That part they make sure to understand. So, that's pretty hardcore, honestly. And they get out of it by just, like, tricking him. I'm like, hey, you're gonna need a pyramid built. We'll build you a pyramid. And then, like, they wait till nightfall to kidnap him and put him on the throne. So the beam that came down from the pyramid they already had, now that I think about that, frees the spirit of the Garbled One from Donald, and then, like, the priest guy has the mummy go attack, but the Garbled One is like, ah, my old friend, and unwraps the bandages, and it's just a ghost. There's no body. It's just a ghost strapped in bandages. I don't know how that works. And he's like, ah, you two have been cursed, but now we're free for reasons. And they fly off into the night, and that's it. They take the friggin' priest dude to their jail, or the jackal pit, because they had a jackal pit, and, ooh, excuse me, the woman who was there and, like, you know, not ran it, but, like, she helped guide Donald through things. She is now going to run it. Scrooge said, they'll be fine with you in charge, because they realized the error of their ways, that they believed only in magic, and they were sheep. And, that's the end of that. We see Donald back on his ship, and the Admiral doesn't believe any of this, so he has to swab the entire deck. The end! It's not a bad episode. It's entertaining. It's just, it's weird, and, like, it doesn't feel like there are many stakes here. Like, it literally resolves itself. So, like, it's implied they've done this before. And it's implied the priest had the mummy kill people before. Like, why was the ghost always there? Why didn't he just leave the first time? Was it have to be he had to be in the body that looked like him and sounded like him, and that freed the curse? Like, what changed to free the curse? Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of this one. I do wonder if it's, like, the inspiration for the mummies of Tutman Raw from the 2000... Hold on a second. Aha. Aha. Let's see. The Living Mummies of Tothra. So I was close. From this series. I wonder if this episode is the inspiration for that, because it is a very similar premise. But it has, like, there's a mummy, there's a civilization that's kept on the ground by a, you know, corrupt ruler who says he's the spokesman for the ancient pharaoh. And there's a female dog-like character that ends up being in charge. So, I wonder if that's what it is, because I have to say, like, that version is better than this one. More stuff happens, and it seems more... I got invested into it more. Also, I haven't seen Launchpad yet. That's weird. I know he was a part of the show. I guess we'll see what happens in the next episode. So, until then, I'll see you next time.